Welcome to GSTZen educational video on various aspects of GST filing. In this session, I would walk you through how to use a consolidated report for a full financial year. And when I say consolidated, it is of GSTR-1, GSTR-2A, and GSTR-3B. So we know that we can download GSTR-1 or 2A or 3B for any given month from the government portal. 2A would be downloaded in the form of an Excel version. 1 and 3B can be downloaded in a JSON file, and we need to use some parsers to convert it into Excel. And the bigger challenge is while filing the annual returns or while doing the reconciliation with the books or for any other reasons, when you would want to compare with whatever the data which is filed between 1 and 3B if there is a difference, or what is expected to be filed as per books of accounts vis-a-vis what has been filed if there has to be done an audit. So there needs to be a report, a simplified report for us to understand what is the data which is filed. Today in this video, I am going to explain how this consolidated report can be easily accessed using GSTZen. So let me take you through this various steps in generation and using of a consolidated report. Let me log in to the GSTZen account. The first and foremost thing one needs to do is add GSTN IDs to the GSTZen account. So once you log into the GSTN website, you will need to see the GSTN IDs. And there are no GSTN IDs here, so I'm adding the GSTN account. So I'm adding a GSTN number, so you can add your 15-digit GSTN number. In fact, the moment you add it, you will automatically get the name of your company. Those who have multiple accounts, multiple branches, you may choose to change it for your ease of understanding. I can say Unit 1, or say this is a Karnataka account, I can say Karnataka. So when you see the multiple list of accounts, it is easy for you to understand, okay, which is the account you would want to process, because it is difficult to trace a GSTN ID with the unit by state code. You have to select what type of taxpayer you are, and I'm making it as a regular taxpayer, and I'm adding the GSTN ID. So once the account is added, all the features which are available into the GSTN is now available. You can actually click on update now to see the status of the filings. You have an option to do a bulk upload of your sales purchase data. There is a tally integrator tool which will help you to read the data from the tally. So in today's session, I'm going to take you about how to download the consolidated reports of 2017-18. You can use it for the other years also. So in 2017-18, if I want to download, I have to, since I'm doing a setting up, so first time it would ask, what is the frequency of my filing, which I'm marking it as my monthly. So here are the steps to generate a consolidated report from the government portal. So a very simple 3-step data to consolidate it. First, the prerequisite for using a consolidated thing, you need to have the login ID of the GST government portal along with the OTP. Now, you don't need a password, you only need the OTP. Once you click here, you'll also see how to activate the API access, because sometimes the API wouldn't have been enabled. You have a video to enable the API. Let me log in to the portal. Here in my case, I have enabled the API. So I'm giving my username and I'm logging into the portal. The moment a username is given, a OTP would be generated. So it would have come to your registered mobile number or the email ID. So I am entering the OTP which has come. Yeah, so now I've successfully logged into the government portal. And we know that, okay, if we have to download any data from the government portal, every time when you click, it is generally a 15 minutes exercise. But here I will also explain how simply, easily this data is happening. The step two is downloading various aspects of the government portal. You can select month over month various items, or here you have a click, select all, everything gets selected. What is available is GSTR-1, all the tables, GSTR-3B, and GSTR-2A. So you can click here and select download from the government portal. And I'm saying yes. So here now the GSTZen will seamlessly integrate with the government portal and fetch the data. You can see on your left side, whatever the periods the data is getting downloaded, it is refreshing by itself. Once the data is downloaded, you can see things with green mark. Green mark indicates the data has been successfully downloaded from the government portal. Here the orange, where yellow color where you are seeing, is the details which is not yet downloaded from the government portal, which is in the queue. Now in this case the GSTR-3B is getting downloaded, 2A is getting downloaded. So here it will be downloading for all the periods. So all 9 months data in one go we are downloading. Well, that is the advantage of using a tool. You have to notice that GSTR-1, when it is downloaded, it would only download the written summary. It is not going to download the whole data, because what tables have been filed in the GSTR-1 is available only in the written summary. Once the written summary is downloaded, you have to again select all and give the download again. So I will wait a moment for getting the data to downloaded for both 2A and 3B. As the data is getting downloaded, now I'm selecting all. So first action it did is it has downloaded the written summary. So whatever the data which is available, it is showing. Now when I give the download from the government portal, it will only download the missing data. Whatever which has not been downloaded, only that portion would be automatically downloaded from the government portal. You may notice that even all the sections have been automatically downloaded for all the written periods, and it's a time of a minute or two, because of course this is a small data set of around 1000 records. If the data size is large, which is say 4-5 lakh records in a month, then it will take obviously some more time. So with this we have completed the step 2. All the data required has been downloaded from the government portal. Step 3 is this consolidated report is generated in a form of an Excel. Click here to download the Excel report. So GSTZen would construct the entire data, whatever which has been downloaded, into one Excel, and it has been now downloaded pretty fast. So let's understand the contents of this Excel. All right. So about us gives whatever the various versions or where the whatever the data which has been updated. First sheet is GSTR-1 by summary. So there are two data sets of GSTR-1 by summary. Don't get confused. The first set of GSTR-1 summary is the summary calculated by the GST government portal. The second one is the summary which is calculated by GSTZen. You might be wondering that shouldn't this be two same? The answer to it is the data which is downloaded summary from the government portal is basis the written period, and the summary which is generated by GSTZen is by the document date. The difference here is if an invoice of July 2017 is reported in say April 2018, this would become a summary of 2018-19 as per the government portal, the month in the written period for which it has been generated. But when GSTZen is calculating the summary, it would add it to the month in which it originally pertains to. Though a July 17 invoice uploaded in April, it would be tagging it to the date of April and it is generating, so that it is easy for you to compare with the books of accounts. Likewise, you have GSTR-3B summary. Another point here is the government portal is giving you with the amendments, and GSTZen would net it off with the original tables what needs to be reported. If an invoice of 1 lakh is further reported amended to say 80,000, so the amended values would be taken in the summary calculated by the GSTZen. Whereas the government portal would show both 1 lakh and an incremental 20,000, so that it is a different figure, you can do it. Moving on to GSTR-3B by summary. So here is the consolidated data of the 9 months. So firstly, you know the tax period financial year is 17-18. So every sheet you have this heading, the period for which the data is being referred to. So this is for 2017-18, all the 9 months period, the taxable value, tax amount. Starting with table 3, all the liabilities and the values which have been reported, summation of all the 9 months data. And if you download this data for 2018-19, it would be a 12 months data. Then the input tax credit. Of course, in the input tax credit, we do not report the taxable value. So all the input tax credit 4A from 4A1 to 4A5, and the credit which has been reversed, net credit availed, and ineligible credit, everything is reported. If any exempted turnover reported, exempted inward supplies reported in table 5, that is captured. Payment of taxes, taxes paid through cash, taxes paid through ITC, both values are captured here. This is a snapshot of 12 months data for 18-19 or 9 months data for 17-18. Then comes a consolidated report. When we say consolidated report, it is a 3 months data which is not there. So you are seeing this blank, April 17 to June 17. But from July 17 to March 18, month over month, whatever the data which has been filed, that is reported table by table. So 31A, outward taxable supplies, which is reported for July, August, September. What is the value which has been reported month over month is available here. And we can see what is the taxable value, tax amounts under various heads. Similarly, each of the head, what is the value which is reported on a monthly basis is made available for ease of reference and comparison. The next report is GSTR-1 consolidated. So whatever the GSTR-1 which is filed each month, GSTR file of each month is made available for a quick review. Ideally, whatever is there in GSTR-3B is what would be there in one, but however, it consolidates what is the value reported. Even here, you can always see two tables, summary calculated by government portal. So this means as per the GSTR-1 filed for the month of July. Then summary calculated by GSTZen, it means the summary which is there for that month could have been filed anywhere. And for the cases of the quarterly filers, you would not find any values in between the months. It will only be there in the quarter files. But in GSTZen, since the data is available for the dates in which it is applicable, so on the top report you will see quarterly filers, say July, August as nil. Of course, that period quarterly was not there. Say October and November would show as nil, and December would show the value. But when you see down here, you would automatically see, because it is available from the line items, you will see month over month data. This is the GSTR-1 consolidated month over month data. What is more important for us to know is there a gap between GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B? So that is the first comparison which is made available. Is GSTR-1 and 3B matching? So we have various tables in GSTR-1 and various tables in GSTR-3B which can be compared or comparable. So the relevant tables that can be compared between GSTR-1 and 3B is now made available for comparison. So wherever you are seeing GSTR-1 invoices, it is the value which is computed by the GSTZen using actual invoice line items. Wherever you are seeing it as GSTR-1 summary, it is based on the filed data of GSTR-1. So here you can see the taxable value as per 1 and taxable value as per GSTR-3B. What is the difference? Here in our example, we have a difference of 4,27,000. You can also drill down, okay, which are the months which is leading these differences. You will be seeing month on month, what is the value reported in 1 and what is the value reported in 3B. Likewise, the tax amount reported in 1 and tax amount reported in 3B, where all the relevant tables of 1 and 3B is compared. 31A taxable supplies, 31B is which is exports including SEZ supplies, and 31C and 31E non-GST nil rated exempt is compared with the table 8 of GSTR-1 and it is reported. In this case, the exempt turnover is reported in 1 and not reported in 3B, hence it is blank. The next reconciliation report which expected is 2A versus 3B. We know that there is a counterparty filing data available in 2A. Is the same credit what we are taking in GSTR-3B? Ideally, whatever I am seeing in 2A is what I will be taking in 3B. So here we can see month over month what is the data which is coming in 2A, and since you have downloaded now the data as on date, what is the 2A would be downloaded and would be compared with the historical 3B which is filed. Two tables is what which is compared here. One, the counterparty submission which is auto populated in 2A, that is table 3 and table 5 of 2A, is compared with table 4A5 of GSTR-3B, read with table 4D which is ineligible credit. Eligible credit and ineligible credit is what compared. Along with this, there is another comparison of within 3B, I report my reverse charge liability and I claim it as an input tax credit. Input tax credit is claimed under 4A2 and 4A3, including import of services. And the taxes are paid in 31D, that is GSTR-3B outward liability supply and liability table. So even that is compared month over month, whether I am taking the credit of whatever the taxes that is getting paid or not. And the beauty of it, it also populates all this information to the GSTR-9. You would also be able to see what is the value that should participate into GSTR-9, and this data is auto populated. You may have the raw data basis which has been data has been compiled is available here. Very important information is GSTR-1 by summary. Month over month, you will see what is the data invoice wise which has been submitted. In case of B2C large, you will have the invoice wise, but when it is B2C small, with table 7 of GSTR-1, you do not have consolidated report. So all that is consolidated into one customer. You do not know customer wise reporting. So this report will give all the turnover made to one particular customer within that per month. You can also see an invoice month, which means the month in which this pertains to, and the filing period. So the period for which you have filed. An invoice of July 17 filed in August 18. Invoice month will be July 17. Filing period would be August 18. And invoice type is whether it is a B2B, export, B2C small, or so SEZ supplies with pay, without pay. All classifications are done. Rate of tax is made available. You will also know the filing status. Now your taxable amount, your CGST, SGST amount indicates whatever is the data as per books of accounts. In the beginning, I have explained the data as per books of accounts can be uploaded. If uploaded, it would be compared. This would be compared against the data that exists in the portal. As per the portal, whatever is the value is now visible. So we can also quickly see whether what is the summation of the data which has happened. In fact, so we can apply a simple pivot, and we can also see by customer what has been the taxable amount that has been declared and what is the total value of the taxes which have been paid. So one can do a simple summation, and using a simple Excel tools, you would also know what is the value of the business which has done and how much has been registered customers and how much is an unregistered customers. You can take a look at it. The next important thing is GSTR-2A by vendor. So against each vendor, whatever is the credit which is auto populated is now available in GSTR-2A by vendor along with the taxable value and tax amount. The sheet would contain the invoice month, so month for which it pertains and when the supplier has uploaded. The document type would also say whether it is an invoice or a credit note. Whether it is a reverse charge invoice or a regular invoice is also available. Wherever you see reverse charge, yes, it is a reverse charge invoice. And did the supplier counterparty has filed their return or not is also available. Your taxable amount would be visible with the moment you upload your purchase register or inward ITC register. Then we have the portal data. The difference between books and the portal is auto calculated. Which table of GSTR-2A it is corresponding to, and is this an original document or an amended document is also available. And there is a simple check on ITC available eligibility, so is also given here for ease of understanding. Even here you can do a simple pivot application, and you can see which is the supply against which supplier, what is the value of the credit received or what is the value of the taxable supplies. So you can do a simple application of the data and say that okay, for comparison with the books of accounts, I have all the credits received or not can be compared. And once the data is in Excel, you know you can automate many other things. But the advantage of all this is you have whatever is required for doing an audit, internal audit or a review of that the health checkup of the compliances and the filing, data required for filing GSTR-9 or any other purposes, you have all the data in one go. That's the advantage of using a technology. And the best part of it is all the data of all the periods has been downloaded, consolidated in just few minutes. This whole exercise may be of 2 minutes, and it is pretty simple. So with this, I hope the viewers would understand how to use a consolidated report. And thanking you and signing off. Thank you. So I hope now that you got a view of how to generate a consolidated report on GSTZen, and how do you interpret various tables, various data which is auto populated in the Excel file, and how do you use that as your audit tool. So with this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you very much.